Hi, welcome to Buffzone. I'm Kyle Ringo. This is Brian Howell. Another beautiful day out here on the CU practice fields. We've been really blessed, I think, this fall with the weather in Boulder. It's going to be another beautiful day at Folsom Field on Saturday when the Washington Huskies come to town. Brian, the Buffs are coming off another, heartbreaking, disheartening loss last week. Double overtime against UCLA. That close and didn't get it done. What do you think is the mindset of this team? Where do things stand with this team right now?
Well, it seems like they're still in a pretty good mindset. I think overall, I think the older players are probably a little bit relieved that they're in these games. But the sense I get from talking to people is they still got a pretty good mindset. They're still into this, and they're still wanting to try to knock down that door, and that they're not giving up. I mean, I think it's different from last year and the past years when you just get beat down every week. And
right.
I don't know about you, but I just get the sense that they're still in this and they're still invested in trying to get some victories.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could see that in the older players. I mean, the Greg Hendersons and the Brady Days and, the Daniel Muniers and those type of guys who've been around here for a long time and experienced those rough seasons, the 2012 season where games were not even competitive. And so their competitive juices are definitely flowing by being in these games and having a chance to win, but they're also massively frustrated. You can just see it on their faces. You can hear it in their voices when you're talking to them. They really need if a team ever needed a win, this is that team.
Right.
Just they need a reward.
I think sometimes the frustration of these close losses can be worse than those blowout games because you kind of expect it going in. These are games that they know they can win. They're right there. I mean, we talked last week. We thought they could beat UCLA.
Right.
They were right there. They've been right there in just about every game. I think I saw a stat from Dave Clatty this week that they've lost 3 of their Pac-12 games by a total of 11 points.
Right. First time in a long time that's happened.
It hasn't happened in a long time. And these guys they're right there, and they're sick of hearing it and talking about it. But that's where the frustration comes. And I feel like they're going to knock down that door sometime soon. I don't know if it's this year, but I think it could be.
Speaking of winnable games, I think this is another winnable game against Washington on Saturday. I mean, the Huskies come into town with a 2-game losing streak. Mm-hmm. That's a frustrated team, too. They're looking for bowl eligibility. They got a heck of a coach in Chris Peterson, a guy who doesn't lose 2 in a row very often in his career, or hasn't, and I don't think he's ever lost 3 in a row as a head coach. So, but still, Washington is a team that has an excellent defense. I mean, on par with pretty much any defense in the Pac-12 in terms of the front 7. 3 possible draft picks on this team, first-round draft picks. And then the offense is a thing with Washington. They've struggled at times. And so I think CU needs to make them struggle again and then hopefully find ways to move the ball against that defense and not turn the ball over.
Yeah, I think it'll be an interesting test for the CU defense that's banged up right now. We'll see who actually plays for them this week. They're missing some guys. I mean, it doesn't sound like Tedrick will play this week.
Right.
Is that what you're getting? And Addison, I know, is he's going to see doctors every day, and obviously was sick last week, so you never know. So I think it'll be an interesting test for that defense. I think it's an opportunity for the defense to step up and have a pretty good game, and the offense, if they can just kind of keep doing what they're doing, I think it's a very winnable game.
Right. I mean, this team has been, for the most part, pretty fortunate with injuries this year, but last week, late in that game, they lose Tedrick Thompson in overtime. They lose Terrell Smith in the second to last play of regulation, both to concussions. Both don't look like they're going to play this week. And then they lost Marquise Mosley to a season-ending knee injury. So
plus, Akella Witherspoon was out for the game.
Right, yeah. So I mean, it's just part of the reason they lost the UCLA game. I mean, it's not all the reason or anything, but a small factor was that they were playing guys in the secondary in double overtime against Brett Hundley, who aren't typically out there a lot.
Right.
So anyway, we'll see. Evan White's going to probably start at safety and be a big challenge for him, but one that McIntyre says he thinks Evan White is up to at this point in the season.
Yeah, I think Evan White's going to be a very good player. He is a true freshman, so you never know at this point, but he's eventually going to be a pretty good player, and so I think we'll see some of that throughout the course of the game. He might make mistakes, but I think we'll see that throughout the course of the game.
I think, once again, this is just my feeling on the game, but I'm expecting this to come down to Sefo Lufau needing to make plays in the passing game to win this game. And
Right.
I think Sefo's up to that challenge. That guy is as hungry to win a game as anybody on this team. So
Yeah,
we'll see how it all shakes out, and we'll be back next week to look at the final 3 games of the season.